Hello, this is Governor Brian Kemp. It's an honor to join the Georgia Veterans Day Association in thanking our veterans and their families during this 2020 Georgia Veterans Day observance ceremony. Throughout these challenging times, GVDA has worked hard to remain flexible and adhere to the guidance of public health officials. By moving this important ceremony to the Battery, Atlanta, they are helping to ensure the continued health and safety of folks from across the state. GVDA's theme for 2020 and 2021 is Follow Me, honoring the United States Army Infantry. For 245 years, the U.S. Army Infantry has been vital to America's security and promoting freedom around the world. It's important to our state, too. Fort Benning, located near Columbus, is home to the U.S. Infantry School, where all members of the infantry receive their training. Just outside of that base, the National Infantry Museum and Soldier Center showcases the history of the infantry. Our state is also home to the active Army's 3rd Infantry Division, the 75th Ranger Regiment, and the 48th Infantry Brigade Combat Team from our own Georgia Army National Guard. More than 750,000 veterans call Georgia home. These men and women are executives in our companies, teachers in our schools, coaches, police officers, nurses, pastors, and some of the most hardworking employees you can hire. It is impossible to thank them enough for everything they have done and continue to do for our state and country. I want to encourage all Georgians to join me in celebrating Veterans Day by honoring our men and women in uniform, past, present, and future. May God continue to bless our active duty military, our veterans, and this great state of Georgia. Thank you.
Please welcome President of the Georgia Veterans Day Association, Kevin L. Miller.
Keep going up. You're good. Keep going up. You guys are more important. Thank you.
It's a little longer where we'll walk.
Get out of your way.
Sorry about that. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Good morning. Now, first speaker always has to ask that. I'm Kevin L. Miller, President of the Georgia Veterans Day Association. I want to welcome you to the 2020 Veterans Day Observance Ceremony. Our association is a 100% volunteer 501c3 organization that I have the distinct honor of leading. Our 18 officers and directors, as well as our network of event volunteers, work tirelessly throughout the year in support of our veterans. The mission of the Georgia Veterans Day Association is to honor our military veterans and to educate our citizens on the service and sacrifice of our men and women in uniform. By being here today, each of you assist us in achieving the first segment of our mission statement, to honor. By listening to the stories of our veterans and visiting the National Infantry Museum display right over there, I know that you'll help us be successful in our second segment, which is to educate. For the past 39 years, the Georgia Veterans Day Association has presented the annual Freedom Ball and the Veterans Day Parade at downtown Atlanta. Much like everything else in the world today, we've had to adapt our events and modify our operational capabilities. One thing that we would not do, we would not cancel Veterans Day. Operating within the recommended CDC guidelines, we were able to present this observance ceremony today. I'm a proud Army paratrooper, but more importantly, I'm an airborne infantryman. So I might be a little bit biased, but I think our theme for 2020, Follow Me, honoring the United States Army Infantry, might be one of our best yet. However, with over 245 years of service to our nation, and with COVID restricting our events a little bit this year, we're going to continue honoring U.S. Army Infantry into 2021. I think that they've earned it. So please continue to follow and support our activities over the next year and honor this truly outstanding group of soldiers. The infantry have carried the heavy load, overcome any obstacle asked, lived out of a rucksack on their back, traveled only by leather boots, and have fought on to victory. They have never given up. How could we pause and cancel our events when we were honoring this amazing group of soldiers? It was in that spirit that we resolved to move forward and host this event. While our theme pays special attention to our infantry soldiers, we always try to remember that, as with all previous years, we honor all veterans from all services, from all periods of service, peace and war. This is Veterans Day, and all who have worn our nation's uniform should be recognized for their service. We're very honored to have Commissioner Mike Roby of the Georgia Department of Veterans Services as our speaker today. If you are a veteran or a family member of one, his office is the go-to place to receive information and assist with your benefits. He and his team do an outstanding job. That's well earned. The Adjutant General of Georgia, Major General Thomas Carton, who is also last year's Grand Marshal, will also be speaking this morning. His team and all the service members who make up their forces do an amazing work on behalf of our nation and the great state of Georgia. That deserves a round of applause, too. And for our keynote speaker this morning, we're honored to have Colonel Retired Robert Chapman, President of the National Infantry Association and the former Chief of Infantry. To discuss the contributions of the United States Army Infantry, I can think of no better individual. I think Colonel Chapman bleeds infantry blue. Let's give him a warm welcome. We also have a few video messages that were sent in by supporters to be aired as part of this observance ceremony. And later this afternoon, we're going to be presenting our virtual Veterans Day Parade and virtual Veterans Festival. I encourage each of you to watch these two outstanding events. Through community engagement with past parade participants and local supporters, we were able to put together these amazing community events to showcase their appreciation for our veterans. The Virtual Veterans Festival is a great opportunity also to showcase some of the amazing organizations that work on behalf of our veterans. The Georgia Veterans Day Association would not be successful in our mission without the direct support of our sponsors and partners. Platinum sponsors like Siemens Energy, T-Mobile, and the Battery of Atlanta, who are wonderful hosts this morning. Truly an incredible place to have a ceremony here. Each of our sponsors are vital and we cannot thank them enough. We're also very blessed to have partners like the National Infantry Association and the National Infantry Museum from Columbus, Georgia, right outside of Fort Benning, which will be forever the home of the infantry. They're responsible for the historic display in the back and the beautiful World War II Jeep that's parked over there by the Roxy. Damage Control Customs also has a modified Humvee up there for you to take a look at it, so I encourage you to take a look at those displays. Now, before I get thrown off the stage, because I can see people tell me I'm going long here, I want to speed this up, but I'd like to ask that everyone please rise as the Kennesaw State University ROTC Color Guard presents our colors, and please remain standing as the 2020 Marvin Myers Leadership Award recipient and Vetlanta co-founder Lloyd Knight leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the National Anthem performed by Sergeant First Class Christina Onis of the 116th Army Band.
No.
Please join me in honoring our great country, our great flag, and our veterans. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whose broad stripes and
Please be seated. Now let's give a loud and thunderous applause so they can hear it to the Kennesaw State University ROTC color guard. And an equally loud applause for Sergeant First Class Onus for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Okay, Lloyd, you did a great job too. Let's thank Lloyd Knight for coming up and doing our Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, please enjoy a brief concert of patriotic music performed by the 116th Army Band, followed by our featured speakers today. Once again, thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for honoring our veterans. May God bless our military men and women, our veterans, and may He continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Hi all, Captain Dale Dye here, and I'm taking this opportunity along with the Georgia Veterans Day Association to wish you a happy, meaningful, and thoughtful Veterans Day. You know, around this time of year, we hear the words, "Thank you for your service," a lot. And that's fine, that's good, that's kind. And for those of us who served in Vietnam, it's welcome and long overdue. But those of us who wore or are wearing our nation's military uniform didn't do it for accolades or gratitude. We did it because it was the right thing to do. We did it because somebody needed to step up to the plate and stand ready to defend this nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So it fell on us, and we did that, and we did it gladly, and we did it with great pride and pleasure. Those are some good things to think about on this Veterans Day, and so I hope you do that. Now, carry on and continue the march.
All right, what's up, everyone in Georgia? Judd Lormand here, along with my castmates from SEAL Team.
I love peaches.
AJ loves peaches, but more importantly, we love veterans, right?
Yeah, we love you guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you. We send our love and support.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a beautiful Veterans Day.
Looking forward to getting back to Georgia. Thanks, guys. We love you.
Love you guys. God bless America.
Please welcome Commissioner Mike Roby, Georgia Department of Veterans Service.
Good morning. Kevin and Cecilia, General Carden, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's an honor to be here today. With me from the Georgia Department of Veterans Service, I have retired Command Sergeant Major Kerry Dyer. Kerry, if you would stand up, please. A great warrior. Kerry is our latest addition to our team. He just retired with 30 years of active service. And his lovely wife, Sharita, is also retired Sergeant Major who spent 28 years in service. So Kerry, thank you for your service. Good morning. I'm honored to be with all of you here today. This has been a difficult year with many unexpected challenges and changes to our everyday routines. It's been a while since we've come together and celebrated something. I am glad we can be here today and safely recognize some of our most valued members of American society. While today's celebration looks different than in years past, our mission and our intent is still the same as every Veterans Day. We're here today to recognize the dedication and personal sacrifice of America's service members from past to present, publicly showing our appreciation for our soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Guardsmen for their heroic and honorable service has been a long and storied tradition in American history. For over 245 years since the founding of our nation in 1776, millions of men and women have stepped forward to wear the uniform of our country. They dedicated themselves to the support and defense of the Constitution and laws of their great nation. Those brave men and women who answered the call to duty and chose to serve our country share many things. We shared a bond of loyalty to our country. We shared a sense of duty to something greater than ourselves. Above all, we share a belief in a nation dedicated to the principles of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Those of us who served understand the need to defend those principles, and we answered our nation's call to do so. While the details vary, we all share a willingness to put our lives on the line for our comrades in arms, from our fellow citizens, and for the great country we call home. I joined our nation's call to action in 1971 and joined the United States Army, following in the footsteps of my father and three brothers. Between my father, my three brothers, and I, the Robys have given a collective 107 years of service to our country. I personally served, thank you, for just over 23 years and retired at the rank of Sergeant Major. I am proud of my family's tradition of military service. I'm proud to have had the chance to give back to my country and my fellow citizens. The years I spent in service helped to shape my life, both personally and professionally. While in the Army, I learned the value of teamwork, integrity, and discipline. These remain as some of my guiding principles today. I would not be who I am today without my time as a member of the United States Army. I had the pleasure of working in several military bases across the United States, as well as overseas. I met and worked with hundreds of service members. I met and worked with people who came from different backgrounds, people who came from different lifestyles, people who had different perspectives on life, people who had values different from my own. But one thing always stood out to me. Across every posting, no matter what, we put our differences aside. We came together to serve as a team, bound by a shared oath and united under a shared flag. United in the shared belief of freedom as a human right. United in the shared belief of democracy. United in the shared belief of justice for all. When you chose to step forward and serve your country, you join a united network of fellow service members. When your time in uniform is over, you remain united with a group who understands what you gave up to serve your country. You join a network of veterans who will always understand and remember your courage and moral strength. Every Veterans Day, we remember and honor all those who have served before us, our comrades in arms, and those who will serve after us. Today, more than 20 million veterans call America home. Over 750,000 live in Georgia. I encourage everyone to take a moment today and next Wednesday, November the 11th, on Veterans Day, to pause in appreciation of the service and spirit of the American service member. Take a moment and make the words, "Thank you for your service," ring true for every veteran who hears them. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your family. And God bless the United States of America.
Please welcome the Adjutant General of Georgia, Major General Thomas Cardin.
Good morning, everybody. I'll tell you, the Sergeant Major's got me fired up this morning. Commissioner Roby, thanks for opening this thing up today. Kevin Miller and the entire team from the Georgia Veterans Day Association. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing. And having dealt with this pandemic here for the last few months, I know how hard it is to put an event like this together and to keep everybody safe in the context of doing this. I just think we need to give the folks with the Georgia Veterans Day Association a hand for doing this. So there are a lot of folks that wave the white flag on doing events like this because it's hard. All right, and so the difference is it's hard, but it's not hopeless. And so I think recognizing not only all our veterans, but the determination and the spirit of the United States Army Infantry, it just fires me up, makes me honored to wear this uniform, honored to share the same space with you today, and I'm so glad we got Colonel Chapa over here from the United States Army Infantry Museum right outside of lovely Fort Benning. I spent a good portion of my career over at Fort Benning, most of which was spent lost on the Yankee Road land navigation course, but somehow I made it through. So Colonel Chapa, thanks for being here. Look forward to hearing from you. So before we got started into this good day, we got to hear from the mighty 116th Army Band, Georgia Army National Guard, Chief Proctor, and the team. You make us proud. Thank you. That doggone national anthem, if the Sergeant Major wasn't enough, you know, in addition to getting paid to do PT this morning, you know, I'm just fired up. It's a great day to be an American soldier. It's a great day to be an American. It's a great day to see so many of our community leaders that give so unselfishly of their time and their talent to support veterans, support our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen. You know, I see Mary Lou Austin back there in the back. Last week we deployed a unit to Afghanistan, so contrary to popular belief, we got a lot more going on in the Georgia National Guard than civil unrest and a global pandemic. Your National Guard today is engaged in 6 out of 6 geographic combatant commands around the world. And Mary Lou had part of her team at our headquarters last Saturday morning seeing off one of our units going out to the warfight. I can't thank the USO. They thank veterans not just on Veterans Day. They're out there thanking veterans every day. So let's thank Mary Lou and the team from the Georgia USO. You know, I'm trying to get you a little bit fired up this morning. You know, in the context of what we're doing, I see a lot of people walking around looking at their shoelaces. But there are a lot of things in this state and this nation that we ought to be motivated about, that we ought to be proud about, and that we need to be holding our head up high about, even in the context of the challenges that we face today. As we honor our veterans, you know, we're protecting our culture. There are a lot of things that a global pandemic has taken from the United States of America. There are a lot of things that this global pandemic has taken probably from somebody that's sitting out here in front of us today. There's probably somebody that's lost a family member to COVID-19 or a friend, somebody you care about. But there's one thing that the Georgia Veterans Day Association and that we're not going to let COVID-19 take from us, and that is our culture. And part of our culture is celebrating freedom and those who guaranteed our freedom with their lives, and that's our veterans. Now I want you to think about it from a mathematical perspective. I don't do math in public very often, but less than 0.5% of the U.S. population ever puts on the uniform. Less than 3 in 10 high school graduates even qualify to really compete to talk to a recruiter with a viable opportunity to put on our nation's uniform. And I'll tell our formation and I'll tell you, it makes them special, it makes them different. They ought never to apologize for that. I mean, what we ask our veterans to do, what we ask of our service members, is just unparalleled. It's no way to describe it. And I've been doing this a little more than 34 years. And when you've been doing it this long, you get a little bit more reflective about the sacrifice of service. Not only what the service member does, but what our family does. I can rarely, you know, thanks to the leadership we got here in Cobb County, I can rarely go out in a uniform of any variety and pump gas without somebody coming up and saying, hey, thanks for your service. It's hard to buy your own lunch in uniform in Cobb County. It really is. You know, I see Sharon Mason from the Cobb Chamber, Commissioner Boyce from the Commission, Joanne Burrell that are here. Our community leaders that are engaged and invested, that model great behavior, great citizen behavior every single day that just makes this community special. I hope that's some of our Blackhawks doing some training. That's what I'm talking about. That's the sound of freedom right there. By the way, that was not coordinated. They're just training in case there's a lawyer in the crowd. But you know, I just think about this community and I think about how often we get thanked, but at the same time, I think about how often our family members, they don't get thanked, because when they're pumping gas or buying groceries, they're indistinguishable from anybody else that's pumping gas and buying groceries. So for our family members that are here today, those who might be joining us virtually, and for those who couldn't be here, we need to give them a hand for their service and sacrifice as well. One of the videos we saw here a little bit earlier, the gentleman was talking about our Vietnam veterans, and I'm never going to miss an opportunity, as long as I'm doing something like this, to thank our Vietnam veterans in a special way. Because as he mentioned, they didn't get the welcome home I got. And they didn't get the welcome home that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines get when they come back from the war fight. And so for those Vietnam veterans that are here, those joining us virtually, and those who couldn't be here, let's thank them for their service especially. So, you know, I don't want to get between you and Colonel Chopper, because I know he's going to fire you up even more than Commissioner Roby did. But I just want to remind you that celebrating our veterans is synonymous with celebrating freedom. And we all enjoy the benefits of freedom, not only in this community, not only in this state, but across this nation. And we can do that because we've got veterans that signed a blank check to give everything up into their life for our freedom. And they are special, and their families are special. And we take one day a year in this country to recognize all of those who served. And I would just challenge all of us, whether you've ever worn a uniform or not, to extend that to every day. We enjoy freedom in this country every single day. And we do so because of the men and women that stand in the gap between freedom and tyranny. I can't thank you, Kevin, for having me today, and all of you for just giving me a few minutes to recognize our veterans and what they do for our state, what they do for the nation, and for all of you. You had a choice today about where to spend your time. You made a conscious decision to be here to thank our veterans. So thank you all for what you do. May God bless you all, and God bless America.
I have seen the face of war. I have seen the sacrifice of our soldiers. I am humbled by this magnificent monument to their sacrifice. The National Infantry Museum and Soldier Center in Columbus, Georgia is a national treasure. Every American should visit and learn what our soldiers have done for our nation. It may make you cry. It will surely make you proud. There is no finer museum to honor our soldiers.
Please welcome Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army, Lieutenant Colonel John Phillips.
Morning. I think it's still morning. So I'm in urban camouflage. That's what they call this. So everyone in uniform, they don't just kind of blend in. And I wear this bracelet. I've worn this bracelet for 15 years now, and it says it's Veterans Day every day, 7/24/365. It doesn't change. So it gives me great pleasure as the son of a career infantry officer and as a red leg field artilleryman that supported our infantry and even those armor guys. We threw some lead out there for you. It gives me pleasure to introduce Colonel Rob Chapa. Colonel Chapa lives in Columbus, Georgia via Glens Falls, New York. So I know he's liking Columbus. Gets a little chilly up there in New York, where he and his twin brother enlisted in the Army at the same time, and then ultimately got commissioned through OCS and became infantry officers. Rob has served in command and staff positions in peace and in combat, from the platoon level all the way up to the Army level. And for those that don't know what that means, there's a lot in between that. Throughout his career, he has served in mechanized infantry, light infantry, airborne infantry, the Rangers, Stryker unit, throughout the United States, Canada, and basically the world. He's been all over the place. He's commanded everywhere from platoon level, company, battalion, brigade, and he ultimately became the chief of infantry and the commandant of infantry down at Fort Benning, Georgia. He has numerous awards and decorations. I'll hit on some of the key ones: Distinguished Service Medal, Legion of Merit, 3 Oak Leaf Clusters, Bronze Star, 2 Oak Leaf Clusters, Purple Heart, Meritorious Service Medal, 6 Oak Leaf Clusters, Air Assault, Master Parachuter, Free Fall, Pathfinder, Ranger, Jungle Expert, and Expert in Combat Infantryman's badge. And that's just a few of them. So I was joking with them earlier, and I said, I would have hated to put your uniform together because you'd have been like at a tilt. Since Rob's retirement from active duty, he's worked as a defense contractor, and he was throughout the Middle East. I believe he worked directly for the King of Saudi Arabia. So that means you were in wonderful Riyadh. Don't hit those camels on that highway. As well as across the United States as well. Rob and his wife they currently live in Columbus, Georgia, where he now serves as the president of the National Infantry Association at the National Infantry Museum. The National Infantry Association supports the Chief of Infantry and all infantrymen past, present, and future. He has 2 sons. One is, guess what, an infantry officer, and the other, which is exactly why I really like this guy, is also, he's a field artillery officer, his other son. So obviously one of them made a right choice. So please put your hands together and welcome Colonel Rob Chop.
I want to thank our CASA for his kind introduction. You don't realize how wonderful you are until you write your own introduction and give it to somebody else to read. I'm proud to be here in Atlanta. I'm thrilled to be here on Veterans Day and celebrating with the Veterans Association. I am a damn Yankee. I came from New York, met a beautiful Georgia girl, spent 31 years in the Army, coming back and forth to Fort Benning, and retired in Columbus, Georgia. It doesn't get any better than that. I hope all of you will come down and visit the National Infantry Museum, voted the #1 free museum in the United States by USA Today magazine. We, the National Infantry Association, along with the National Infantry Museum and all of our community partners in the Chattahoochee Valley, would love to have you come down. Here today to talk about the infantry. I am the infantry. Follow me. There's a statue in front of the museum that has an infantry soldier dressed in World War II uniform. And he's got everything he needs to be an infantryman. He's got a canteen. He has some ammo pouches. He has some grenades. He has an M1 Garand with a bayonet fixed. And he's moving forward. He was the infantry during the Second World War. It hasn't changed much in what it is today. If you look at the infantry as they serve in Syria, Afghanistan, and other places, they're moving forward. They're taking ground. They might have an explosive breach that blows the door off a building and lead the way in with an attack dog. But they're still doing what the infantry does best, closing with and destroying the enemy. That's what we pay our sons and daughters who are infantry to do. We don't want them to be normal members of society. We want them to be the ultimate weapon system that we send forward to do God's will. And yet, that's how I look at it. I get to work weekly with America's sons and daughters, coming to the National Infantry Museum to learn about the last 100 yards. The last 100 yards of battle. That's where it all happens for the infantry. You can ride in a striker, you can paratroop, jump out of an airplane, you can fast rope out of a Black Hawk with the Rangers. But ultimately, it's that last 100 yards. That's where the close fight is. That's where the fight isn't much different from Roman times. It's still making him understand your will by the use of force. The weapons we have today are much like during the Revolutionary War. We still have muskets. We still have some armor. We still have hand protection. We still have blades. The bayonet of today is not much different than the bayonet from the First World War. We do have lasers now. We do have satellite communications. That's how the general and I know where we are on the battlefield is all due to the satellites. We love our infantrymen. Whether you were at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Schofield Barracks, Hawaii, or stationed here in the great state of Georgia, you are the infantry. You are what matters in our Army. I'd like all of you, when you get a chance, to run by the tables we have set up in the back. We have a great Command Sergeant Major, Lewis, who retired after 30 years of service. He's now one of my bosses on the board of directors for our National Infantry Association. He's the guy in the World War II uniform that knows more about all of the weapon systems and displays than I ever could. Chris, thank you for coming here and setting up the great displays. And please join me in giving him and the National Infantry Museum a round of applause. Before I finish, thank you to the band. You guys were remarkable. Always making better sounds than the average infantryman. Although closely related to the tuba sounds, we don't make anything come together. So great job, Chief. Join me in giving them a round of applause. To all of the leadership from the state of Georgia, Sergeant Major, great to see you again. To our CASA, to all the veterans of Atlanta and the Veterans Association of Georgia, thank you for putting on this event. As I close, I'll ask you to do one thing today. As we think of our veterans, we think of the great care the Veterans Administration gives them, but we also need your care. Every day in America, 20+ veterans commit suicide. I need each and every one of you to reach out to a veteran. He might know somebody who just needs a call. He might know somebody who needs to be invited over for a dinner. Something easy like that. You don't have to be an infantryman to do that, but you have to be a great American. Thank you all for your time. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the infantry. Thank you.
Please welcome Georgia Veterans Day Association Treasurer, Eric Widner.
Kevin was right, that really is a long walk. I apologize for that. But wow, thank you. Honestly, I don't even know how to follow up after that. Thank you so much for your words. Good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Eric Widner. I'm the treasurer of the Georgia Veterans Day Association, and I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed today's program and that you'll stick around for the rest of our virtual parade, as well as take a look at some of the auction items that we're auctioning off today to help support our mission as well. It really is an honor to be standing here in front of all of you today. I recognize, and I'm sure we all do, that this year has brought a special set of challenges to every one of us. Not just the average everyday citizen, but especially our military. Quite honestly, just a few short months ago, we really weren't sure what we were going to be able to do, if we were going to be able to have an event like we normally do. But we knew that we wanted to honor all of our veterans in some way. So we sat down and set forth in a way that was going to let us come out and honor our veterans and honor their families. Together, we've all experienced a myriad of changes to our lives, to our daily work schedules, our social schedules, and our family lives. And I know that all of you can join me here today and agree that this has been a historic year that none of us will ever forget. It is specifically for those reasons that before we begin to close out our observance ceremony today, that I want to take a moment to thank everyone that helped make today happen. First, we are so grateful to our new hosts here at the Battery for allowing us to have this event here today. If it wasn't for you, we weren't sure where we would be able to assemble. So thank you so much to the Battery. Absolutely. The entire facility, the entire staff, and everybody here has been nothing short of remarkable in helping us not only make this event possible, but make it a success the way you deserve. And of course, we have to say a special thank you to all of our sponsors. Your generous support throughout the year, your donations, they are what make our vision a reality, and they help ensure that we're able to achieve our mission year after year. Thank you to all of you. We'd like to thank our speakers as well. Commissioner Mike Roby, thank you so much for being here today and sharing with us. Thank you for your words, and thank you for your continued service to our veterans. They need you, and we appreciate it. Major General Tom Carden, throughout the year you've continued to lead our guards and serve our citizens throughout Georgia, and as well as other national missions. We thank you for your service, we thank you for your leadership, and thank you for your support of our association. Colonel Chapa, thank you for your lifetime of service to our country. We are so thankful that you were able to join us today. We're thankful that you were able to share with us and help us celebrate the United States Infantry. Thank you. And finally, for the reason that we're all really here today, I extend a special thank you to all veterans and all of the veterans family, all of those who have served and all of those who are currently serving today. Thank you. We thank you for your commitments that you've made. We thank you for your service to our nation, and we are so thankful for the sacrifices you've made that allow our freedoms to endure today. Thank you for everything.